Hello students, this is Ankita. Welcome to Global Online Neet. So in today's session, we are going to see about the biology chapter that is cell, the unit of life. It has 10% weightage in the NEET syllabus. Yes, chapter wise weightage जर बघितलं students आपण तर ह्या chapterला किती percentचं weightage आहे? Exam साठी 10% weightage is there for this chapter. तर आजच्या या सेशन मध्ये आपण इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ सेल अँड प्रोकॅरियोटिक सेलच्या बद्दल बघणार आहोत. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ द सेशन. सेल म्हणजे काय? व्हॉट इज सेल स्टुडंट्स? सेल इज नथिंग बट the fundamental structural and functional unit of life. Yes, cell म्हणजे cell is something that can exist independently. Yes, exist independently. Apart from this, म्हणजे सेल एकटा राहू शकतो. Yes. Next is, apart from this, cell can perform all the important functions of life. Can perform all the essential functions of life. All the essential functions of life. So this is cell. This is nothing but the cell, the fundamental structural and functional unit of life. Now let's see what the discovery about the cell. When was the cell discovered? Who discovered the cell? असे questions आहेत, right? सेलची डिस्कवरी कधी झाली? When कोणी डिस्कवर केलं सेलला? Discovery of the cell. So Robert Hooke was the scientist who first observed the cell and discovered the cell. Yes? कोण होता सायंटिस्ट? रॉबर्ट हुक. इन द इयर 1665. येस. आता यांनी तर ऑब्झर्व केलं. रॉबर्ट हुक ऑब्झर्व द सेल, बट विच सेल स्टुडंट्स? ही ऑब्झर्व द डेड सेल. येस. काय ऑब्झर्व केलं? सेल कसे दिसत होते? It was a honeycomb-like structure and cork cells were formed. This was the explanation that the structure was honeycomb-like and cork cells were discovered by Hooke. Now, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he was the scientist who discovered the living cell. Yes, he observed the cells of bacteria, protozoa, RBCs. Yes, he observed the living cells. So now the question comes in the exam. कशा टाइपचे क्वेश्चन्स येतात स्टुडंट्स? Who observed the first cell? The answer काय? Robert Hooke. Who observed the dead cell? Answer काय? Again Robert Hooke. जर क्वेश्चन आला who observed the first living cell, तर answer काय येणार? Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Okay? Ata, don't get confused between the name of the scientist. Okay? Now, the question is, who discovered the nucleus? This nucleus ला कोणी discovered केलं? So the name of the scientist is Robert Brown. Yes, Robert Brown was the scientist who first discovered and observed nucleus in the year 1831. Yes. So नीटच्या एक्झाम मध्ये नेम ऑफ द सायंटिस्ट अँड द इयर वर क्वेश्चन्स येतात. येस स्टुडंट्स. नाव व्हॉट इज व्हायरस? व्हायरस काय? So virus is something that has anything less than a complete structure of a cell but does not ensure independent living. It cannot ensure independent living. Yes, जसं cell independently exist करू शकतो, virus करू शकतो का? No, it does not ensure independent living. Yes, so this was all about the discovery of the cell. आता हे सेल ऑब्झर्व करणं कशामुळे शक्य झालं स्टुडंट्स? सो इट वॉज ड्यू टू द इन्व्हेन्शन ऑफ the compound and the electron microscope, because due to this microscope we can observe the detailed structures of the cell. So the invention of compound microscope and the electronic microscope gave a detailing about the cell. Next comes the cell theory. Now let's see the cell theory. Okay, cell theory. Who gave this cell theory? Cell theory. There was two scientist students naming Schleiden, Schleiden and Shawn. Who were the two scientists? Schleiden and the Shawn. Schleiden and Shawn. Shawn word कुठे ऐकलाय students? Shawn is the Shawn cells. Yes, Shawn cells seen in the Shawn cells seen in the nervous system. Yes, nervous system मध्ये आपण हा शॉन शब्द वापरलाय, बघितलाय. आता शॉन कोण होता? He was the zoologist. कोण होता शॉन? He was the zoologist. Which zoologist student? British zoologist. Yes. And Schleiden कोण होता? He was a botanist, German botanist. Okay? German botanist. What happened? Schleiden काय म्हटले की all plants are made up of cells. What was the Schleiden statement? All plants are made up of cells. Yes, this statement was given by Schleiden. But Shawn ने काय ऑब्झर्व केलं? First time Shawn observed the animal cell. Yes, he first time observed the animal cell. And what he noticed that animal cell के बाहर एक thin layer है. Okay, a thin layer is seen. Outer thin layer is present outside the animal cell. Yes, outside the animal cell. Outside the animal cell, and it is called as plasma membrane. It is called plasma membrane. Yes. अब और एक अजून एक काय गोष्ट शॉनने ऑब्झर्व केली की सेल वॉल ही ऍबसेंट आहे. सेल वॉल एनिमल सेल मध्ये ऍबसेंट आहे. Cell wall is absent in animal cell but present in plant cell. Absent in दोष शॉन एक झूलॉजिस्ट होते, पण तरी त्यांनी ॲनिमल सेल मध्ये बघितलं की सेल वॉल ऍबसेंट आहे पण ती प्रेझेंट आहे प्लांट सेल मध्ये. दॅट मीन्स सेल वॉल इज अ कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक अँड युनिक फीचर ऑफ द प्लांट सेल. येस स्टुडंट्स, येते लक्षात? कधी श्लेडन कधी आले? when he gave the statements in the year 1838. When he gave the statement in the year 1838. Whereas Shawn ने कधी हे statement दिलं? In the year 1839. Yes, these two scientists gave the cell theory, that is Schleiden and Shawn. Schleiden was a German botanist. त्यांनी काय स्टेटमेंट दिलं? ऑल प्लांट्स आर मेड अप ऑफ सेल्स. वेअर शॉन कोण होते? झुओलॉजिस्ट, ब्रिटिश झुओलॉजिस्ट. त्यांनी काय केलं? Firstly, he observed the animal cell. What he observed? That a thin layer is surrounded. Thin layer is surrounded, present outside the animal cell, and it is called as the plasma membrane. And what else he observed? That cell wall is absent in animal cell and present in plant cell. That means cell wall is a characteristic unique feature of the plant cell. Yes. So Malthus Cledin in 1838 observed the plants are composed of cells, and Shawn reported that cell has a thin outer layer, that is plasma membrane. He also found plant cells have cell wall. Yes, so this Schleiden and Shawn formulated the cell theory. Yes, now the question was, ठीक है, हे ह्यांनी फॉर्म्युलेट केलं, but cells originate कुठून होता स्टुडंट? From where this new cell origin? What is the origin of the new cell? Yes, new cell, new cellचा origin काय आहे? So, Rudolf Virchow gave a statement in 1855. Rudolf Virchow ने काय केलं? एक स्टेटमेंट दिली 1855 मध्ये. काय स्टेटमेंट दिली? Omnis cellula e cellula. What was the statement given by Rudolf Virchow? The statement was omnis cellula e cellula. म्हणजे काय students? That all, what is the meaning of this statement omnicellula e cellula? That all cells exist from, or all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. That means new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells, and this gave rise to the modern cell theory. Yes, so the statement given by Rudolf Virchow was omnis cellula e cellula, saying that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. That means new cells arise, or new cells are formed from pre-existing cells, and this gave rise to the modern cell theory. Yes, modern cell theory. So the modern, अगर क्वेश्चन आता है मॉडर्न सेल थ्योरी किसने कंपोज की, or who formulated the modern cell theory? The answer is Rudolf Virchow in the year 1855. In the year 1855, modern cell theory was formulated. Yes. Now the virus does not follow the cell theory. So it is present on the borderline. Yeah, यानी dead भी नहीं है and living भी नहीं है. That means he is present on the borderline. So that's all about the cell theory. Now the overview of cell. Yes, overview में हमने overview of cell में क्या देखा कि जर cell बरोबर, if all the membrane bound organelles are present, then called as eukaryotic cell, and if rest of the organelles are absent, it is called as prokaryotic cells. Yes. साइटोप्लाज्म क्या होता है स्टूडेंट्स? Cytoplasm is a semi-fluid matrix where cellular activities and chemical reactions occur. This keeps the cell in living state. Yes, cytoplasm से क्या होता है? It keeps the cell in the living state. And what are ribosomes? It is a non-membrane bound organelle found in the cytoplasm, chloroplast, mitochondria, and on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So let's see about the two types of cells. First is eukaryotic and the prokaryotic. Yes, agar all the membrane bound organelles are present, the cell is said to be eukaryotic. If the membrane bound organelles are absent, it is called as prokaryotic. Yes, because what they observed the onion cell and human chick cell. Yes, observe when they observed the onion cell, only cell wall was present in this. Yes, just a second. What they observed, कैसे समझा कि eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells आहे students? जेव्हा त्यांनी ऑनियन peels onion cell observe केला, they only observe that cell wall is present. CW stands for cell wall. But जेव्हा त्यांनी human cheek cell study केला, they found that there is a plasma membrane. Yes, plasma membrane and nucleus is present in this cell. What is present? Nucleus. And nucleus मध्ये obviously the genetic matter, that is DNA, is present in it. DNA, that is the genetic matter, is present. So they gave that there are two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. If the membrane bound organelles are present in the cell is said to be eukaryotic cell. But if the membrane bound organelles are absent, it is called as the prokaryotic cell. Now, they further studied cell in basis of size, shape of the cell varies according type to type. Yes, now let's see about the shape. पहले हम क्या स्टडी करेंगे? Shape. Shape of the cell depends on the function. Yes, shape किस पे depend है students? On the function. Because जितना लंबा cell उतना function वो play करेगा. Size पे क्या depend है? The smallest cell. Yes, the smallest cell कौन है? Mycoplasm. Remember the 0.3 micrometer in length. Please remember the length. Yes, theory में different है and diagram में different है. So this is the theoretical length. Smallest cell is mycoplasm. Plasma. Yes, largest isolated cell कौन है? Egg of ostrich. Longest cell कौन है? Nerve cell. Size of bacteria क्या है? 3.5 micrometer. Yes, it is average. 3.5 micrometer is the average size of the bacteria, and human RBC is 7.0 micrometer in diameter. So this was all about the size of the cell. Please remember, इस पे MCQ questions आएंगे students कि largest isolated single cell कौन है? Egg of ostrich. Longest cell कौन है? Nerve cell है. Size of bacteria क्या है? 3.5 micrometer है. Yes, human RBC का length क्या है? 7.0 micrometer in diameter है. So these was all about the size of the cell. Now let's see the shape of the cell. Shape can be this, like polygonal, columnar, cuboidal, irregular. ये सारे क्या है? Shape. Based on the function, shape of the cells may be like disc-like, yes, disc-like, polygonal, columnar, cuboid, thread-like, or irregular. See, you can see in this diagram how are the cells in this diagram. Nerve cell कैसा है? Yes. How are disc like? Columnar कैसा है? Yes, forming columns. Irregular cells किसके होते हैं? WBCs के. WBCs have irregular shape. So this was all about the shape of the cell. And we have also seen that cells are of two types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So that's all about the introduction of the cell.